politician in the state of Texas at this time. And the Republicans in the Texas Senate just returned him to the office of top cop.
House Prosecutor Ann Johnson lashing out at what she clearly believes were verdicts driven by greed for political power and counter to the best interest of 30 million Texans. As we Sunday morning quarterback this impeachment outcome, I have to return to late May when the House unveiled its secret investigation and slammed through the articles of impeachment within a few days' time, drawing protests over the lack of due process. Question, panel, did that expedient, so to speak, come back to haunt them, or would it really not have mattered given the political positioning that's unfolded here? I'm going to ask you that, Gary Pollan.
I don't think it mattered. I really don't. I think it was a political decision, as many of the panel have said, and they weren't going to vote against Paxton. And also, don't forget the multi-million-dollar lobbying campaign that was going on by strong conservative backers of Paxton. They were encouraging people to email their senators and call their senator's office. They were on the web. I went online. I'm looking at something, and there's a thing that pops up, write your senator and tell them not to convict Paxton. So there was organized. There wasn't a campaign that I saw on the other side. So that was part of the problem. But again, I want to mention one other thing. Tony said he was found not guilty. Yeah, what that means is not proven. It doesn't mean he's not guilty.
Okay, Joe, there are those who would say Dan Patrick had 3 million reasons to put his thumb on the scale. I guess this verdict doesn't I guess, rebut that.
Well, Greg, now that the evidence is done and it's on the interweb, as we call it, for people who want to still look at it, like maybe the federal grand jury, we now turn to the process. How in God's name could you call this a fair trial when the presiding judge gets $3 million, $1 million straight out and a $2 million loan, and there is an epic masterpiece of jury intimidation called Defend Texas Liberty in San Jacinto 2023? That's not how you do a fair trial.
All right, Bill, jump in here.
Well, I'm not sure it was ever going to be a fair trial to start out with. But again, I get back to this is a political trial. And to get Republicans to impeach a Republican, you've got to prove it overwhelmingly. And the House just did not do that. They presented a very poor case. But let me say this. The legal problems for Ken Paxton are far from over. There's a securities trial. The whistleblower case is going to be revived now because they didn't get their $3 million. And we know the feds are looking at this very carefully. So don't think this is over.
Okay.